Hey everyone, this is arialisestrellaartistry here. I am going to be making a hot boy walk vlog. I'm just fresh out the shower right now, so I'm gonna go take a walk and I'll meet you out on the trail. Before I go out, I'm gonna make and prep a little chicken soup. So this is some tea that I made before my shower. It is some elderberry and echinacea, some throat coat. It's already brewed. So let me just have some on camera to improve my speaking voice. And yeah, so on this walk today, I'm going to be talking about some hot boy topics. I have been inspired by Carmelita Fox, where she'll go on her daily walk. Walking is amazing for the health. So I'm gonna go on my daily walk that I've been doing in my neighborhood. Today I'm gonna go to this little sandy area where there's trails. And I'm just gonna speak my mind out. Like, I just want to release everything that I've been thinking about from, I want to say, like May, when I moved from university to coming back home with my father. So I'm just going to talk. There's actually some occult knowledge that I'm going to be sharing with y'all. So just understand that if you are not into the occult, if you are a God-fearing Christian like some of my family is, I totally get that. I respect that. But you might want to click off this video because it's going to be talking about demons and demonology and my practices as a witch. So let me enjoy this tea. I'm going to heat up some chicken and then we will go on our hot boy walk. Here is a chicken breast that I've seasoned and laid overnight. I'm gonna move y'all around. I'm gonna cut this shit up and then I'm going to throw it into a saucepan. And then I think I'll just cook it, put it into the oven, and then after my walk, I'll come and finish the soup. Just because most of my walks will be out around 7 to 8. That's when the sun sets out here in the desert. So I definitely want to get plenty of sun before I go out and or come back and enjoy some soup. Shout out to my old housemate who left this knife for me. It is perfect for cutting and separating meat. So. And yeah, I actually, so like lately, because I'm on vacation mode, I've given myself this tattoo. I started a painting for my family, so like for something for them to hang out in the living room. And besides that, I've really just been gaming, sleeping and resting. I've been dreaming a lot, so I've been logging my dream journal. And then just been chilling with my little brother, chilling with my dad. Today is Father's Day, so I think it's a really fitting day to just, take care of myself, enjoy my own company. My father's out there in the yard working on his truck. And I will just enjoy my afternoon. Honestly, it's been really good being in vacation mode because the days are kind of the same. They're kind of uneventful, but it's giving me the time and space to really sleep, really focus on my health, focus on my energy, just making sure that it's rested, making sure that it's restored. Once I go back to university in August, I'm going to be a full-time student again, and I will probably be at Cal State Long Beach until 2027, 2028, especially if I go into my master's program. That might push it longer, but overall, I'm just happy to be taking this time to recharge and be with my family, so. I wished my dad a happy Father's Day today, and just we had a good morning. It was chill. Um, Men are pretty stoic, so in my experience, it's just happy Father's Day, and then I give him the space to enjoy his day. Cheers to a healthy and happy summer, a thriving summer, a restful summer, and just enjoying being, honestly. God bless this tea. God bless this vlog. God bless this soup that I'm gonna make tonight. And I think tonight I'm gonna go over this tattoo a little bit more, shade it in. It's the Joan Jett and the Black Heart's Black Heart. So I just need to go in the middle area a little bit. I focused on the outline the last session. So my little brother got me new paper towels. So I think I'm gonna go into that. And then I have these bats that I started. So I think I'm gonna add some more bats and just see what other desert tattoos I can come up with as a theme. Because this tattoo was my first tattoo in honor of the Coachella Valley and the desert. It is a cicada, which you hear in abundance during the summer. So I'm gonna see what I can come up with. I definitely think I want to give an honor to my inner child, that little kid that was just into punk and rock and grunge and all of the stuff that, you know, it's just kind of more intuitive now to follow. But when I was little, like, before I was even, like, proud to be, like, a gay queer person, I was like, oh, I love this culture of people who just don't give a fuck, who just embrace themselves. Ooh, the chicken's cooking. Who embrace themselves and don't give in to, like, societal pressures. I seasoned that chicken so well, it smells so good. And then I'm gonna add it into some tomato soup with some rice that was left over from yesterday's meal. Let me make sure. Cool, yes. There's plenty of rice. And then, yeah, now that I've kind of restored my energy, like from May to now, which is like, it's still early June. It's been a week since it's been my birthday. So I've been 27 for a full week now, and I feel ready for this year. This time last year, I was still around, like, a toxic ex. I was still around people that I didn't want to be around fully. So the fact that I started 27 off just being around family, it's a lot better. I definitely am excited for Cal State Long Beach, for the people I'm going to get to know. But now that I've experienced San Francisco, Los Angeles as an adult, and I fully can tell, and I'm going to speak about this in the walk too, because there's just some things that I've noticed that on my spiritual path and on my becoming, I feel like I've noticed some patterns about society. And I'm going to call it out because honestly, social media as I see it now is just a cesspool of dark energy, of demonic energy. I'm going to speak about it more after I finish this little kitchen vlog. But yeah, I just want to speak about it because for the longest time I was like, you know what? I am just an art page. I'm just a painter. But there are people who do so much outside of just what they want to do as their primary craft. My primary craft is definitely artistry, but I think I am developing myself as a spiritual worker, as an energy worker. I have had friendships and connections out in different cities where I know that my words and my presence and energy has helped heal people as their presence and energy has healed me. But I've also come across entities like demons, people who are possessed by demonic entities, people who are vampires, people who are supernatural, and I want to speak about it. And I think I should share it because at this point in my life, I just feel like I am navigating towards more of the spiritual realm. I am definitely fully in the material realm. Like, I have my possessions, I have my tools to make art, I have money and resources to go to school, my family is grounded and secure. And so now I think I have the safety to start to explore the spiritual realm. These past couple of weeks, I've definitely been focusing into my astrology, into my natal charts. This particular week, I was focusing on my draconic charts, which are like your soul's chart. And I've noticed a lot of patterns that point to confirming that I am a witch, confirming that I'm a painter, confirming that I'm a social worker and energy worker. And a lot of me healing my energy blocks revolves around putting myself out there, not being afraid to speak and be authentically myself in public society, and calling out abusers and calling out emotional manipulators and calling out the people who have hurt me. Now, I personally don't care to put too much focus on them because they're already out of my life. I'm free from them. But I do want to talk about these energy experiences that I've had. If anything, so far what I've shared on social media has been a lot of me exploring who I am, me exploring my art, and that has helped people both online and in person. But I think that me speaking about some of these experiences will help to prepare people, warn them of potential energy vampires, warn them of potential manipulation, warn them of any dark magic or demonic possession, or even just warn them about bad energy. So I think it's important to talk about it. I'm going to continue to speak about it in this vlog. The chicken's just about done, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Y'all can get a little bit more cooking shots, and then I'm going to go on my hot boy walk. Now, most of my walks are typically 45 minutes to an hour long, so I'm going to let that chill, and then I'm going to throw it back into a soup, so that is perfect as it is. I'm going to go ahead, leave some of my tea here, so that way I can enjoy some later tonight. And I'm going to go get my water bottle. Alright, so I'm gonna head out and I will see y'all out on the trail. Hair time when you got the wind. Also, I recently dyed my hair with henna, so you can only really see it in the sun, but it's like a red tint. I'm on fire, baby. So I know wind is like a huge enemy to recording, so if it breaks out in certain points, forgive. It's just, I'm out in a desert. And I actually researched that desert hot springs, forgive the truck. Desert Hot Springs is an energy vortex, so it actually has like wind power, it has heat power, it has tectonic power, so that makes it an energy vortex, and I've essentially felt it like the first few weeks that I was living here, and now I feel it even more. Hello. And now I feel it even more like just staying here with my parents. Like, you just feel that things are slower, things are calmer, but it's also energetically cleansing and balancing, and kind of gives you exactly what you need. And also I was happy that there were those two bikers, because yeah, it's like Palm Springs is like a huge retirement community, so I feel like in Desert Hot Springs where I'm at, it's like a mix of like families, fellow adults, old people as well, a good balance of everything. So I'm gonna put my hair up real quick, and then I'm going to continue my walk. I'll take some clips. Yeah, I take hella inspiration. The moon is up there, it's almost a full moon, so I just feel like you can sense with the lunar cycles people's energy go up, because when it was my birthday it was like a new moon, so I could sense that the energy was just like ground, reset, what do you want for this birthday season? And all I really wanted was to reconnect to myself in an authentic way, to care for my family and myself, and also to take myself out to places alone, out of my comfort zone, right? So like going out to gay clubs alone, just going on walks alone, not really fearing, but also realizing that a part of my life is just always going to have some level of fear attached to it, because it's the unknown, and when we don't know things, we're scared of them. So I'm going to keep walking, and here are some clips of this street that I'm walking down. You can kind of see the mountains in the background, but I'll showcase more once I get to like the actual trail. It is just so spacious. There's so many sand lots apart from like people's houses, and it just makes me happy to see nature barren and just kind of empty. It's so spiritual for me to see nothingness, compared to like living in SF or LA where everything's just so industrial, so stacked on top of one another. It's nice to just see like left alone land. It's healing for me. This is an example of like some of the trails that just go out into the desert. I'm not going here though. I'm gonna go all the way at the end of this road. So another toe shot, because I love my toes right now. And then I'm gonna keep walking. Testing. The hot boy walk begins. Alright, so I'm out here in the desert. Feels really good. I practiced what I was gonna say on the walk over to this trail, so this should be succinct. This should be a smooth little vlog where I discuss my hot boy ideas, where I get it all out there, and I will publish this and enjoy some chicken tomato soup. So I'm out here on my hot boy walk. Thank you so much for Carmelita Fox. Thank you so much to other spiritual vloggers who have shown me the fact that we are in a material realm, but it is both material and spiritual. So I am currently in this phase where I am shedding the conditioning of what I received as a kid, what I received as an adult, living out in major cities like San Francisco and LA. And I'm finally deciding at 27 years old what I want to think and what I want to believe. And hopefully the wind is not too bad so you guys can hear me. And let's go ahead and talk about it. Right, so just reviewing the audio, I definitely have to speak a little bit louder. Wait, hold on, my alarm went off, so I'm gonna say it again. So reviewing the audio, I see that I have to speak a little louder. So if it sounds like I'm shouting at points, just know it's because I'm trying to make up for the wind coming through and blocking the audio. So I'm just out here on my walk. It is a nice walk to have, to be had. I want to start off with how I feel coming back to the desert. So I came back the week of May 17th, and I just knew, okay, I just got a little behind sometimes. I came back the week of May 17th, and I've been here for like about a month. It's June 16th today. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And I want to say, like, my initial impression of coming back home was a little bit of anxiety. I was definitely anxious about, being around my family long term, which I know I shouldn't be now, but, when you're gone for so long, from 19 to like 25, 26, you do feel anxious about coming back, and coming back to a desert that you were raised in. But now I feel really good, and I want to say I spent the first couple weeks, visiting my mom, visiting my sister, my dad and brother, and just really resting. I did look into jobs while being here. But I have not secured a good part-time job. I'm still looking, and I'm open to jobs, but it also feels really good to just be able to rest. Look, we're catching the sunset, and the moon's up here. So I've just been resting, honestly, like, as an artist too. I haven't even been focusing on creating things. Like, yeah, I've uploaded some videos. I have uploaded, like, some short vlogs. But it just feels good to just wake up, nourish my body, enjoy some breakfast, play video games, go on walks, work out. Literally my entire lifestyle, I've taken a break and have just relaxed. I focus on relaxation and resting. I know that when I go back to school, I will be busy bee, doing all my art, learning, being out in a huge city, which I'm excited to just drink up Long Beach. So that's exciting, but I feel like it was necessary for me to restart this summer by coming back to my roots. And really, this visit has brought to the forefront of my mind the way that I was raised and the people that I was raised with. I feel like now as an adult, there's not the feel of fear of being so vulnerable, because when you're a little kid, you feel like, wow, you are dependent on these adults to take care of you, to secure you, to stabilize you, and if you misbehave, or if you don't adhere to what they believe, then you are going to get punished. So that was my initial reflection. Coming back as an adult, that fear is gone. I don't fear speaking my mind and being vocal. Now, here's the thing. I've always been who I am. So as a kid, I would naturally rebel against things that I didn't automatically believe in. Like, I automatically have always believed in nature spirits. I've always believed in the way that nature makes me feel, which is always good. But I never really put too much faith into organized religion or, structure and order. And that's very, little kiddish of me. But yeah, I just never really, I didn't like being told what to do. I mean, what kid does, right? But I think growing up, I later realized that I still don't like being told what to do, unless they're... Oh yes, hold on, let's take a moment. Okay, I'm gonna walk back. Because this trail is really short. I thought it was longer. Or maybe I'll take a side cut. But let me actually review the footage real quick, just to make sure that I can hear myself still. Okay, so it's still a windy day, but I can still speak. There's a bit of an orange glow over the horizon, which lets me know that there's probably a wildfire somewhere in California. And you can kind of smell the burning smell in the air. So, continuing. Growing up, I feel like I had a very spiritual childhood. I could see spirits when I was little, and no one around me could. I remember when I was playing hide and seek as a kid, I saw this man who was cloaked in this beautiful velvet like cape, and he had big sheep ram horns. And I know that like the Christian sect or cult will think that that's Lucifer, but I thought it was truly like Pan. Like, I felt more safe. I mean, he was very like handsome and like mysterious, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm playing hide and seek, why are you in my room? But I didn't get any malice from him. So from that moment on, I feel like, okay, I am, and you know, kids, when we're little, I want to say I was like 5 or 6. When we're little, we definitely don't have a veil. And then as we get older, our veil grows thicker. We start to become fearful and start to become, disbelieving. And, our upbringing kind of cloaks what we start to believe. And for me, I always was like down with the spirit world. Like, I always just knew, like, yes, this physical material world is beautiful as it is, but there's also something more. There's energy. There are spirits. And I think as I get older, I'm just so grounded in my belief that there are spirits, even if the average modern adult doesn't believe me. Like, I know what I've experienced, and I'm actually going to go into it a little bit deeper with this video, as I spoke earlier in my kitchen. Growing up, Jehovah's Witness. My mom was such a devout Jehovah's Witness, and for me, I respected that she had her belief in the spiritual world, but Jehovah's Witnesses are so strict that, it got the wheels turning on my, like, gender identity and questioning things like, why are women supposed to wear dresses only? Why are men supposed to wear suits? So it got the rebellious wheels turning. But then, I respected the fact that my mom was so spiritual, but then I also started to question, like, why do I have to believe this if I don't believe it with every fiber of my being? Like, if I truly don't want to adhere myself to the Jehovah's Witness cult or sect of Christianity, for it to be more politically correct, why should I have to do this if I don't want to? Like, I think at 16, I was going, and I was happy to go to church because I was like, oh, well, I'm a little kid. I don't really have an option. So I'll go to church and I'll play the part. But I think as I got older, like closer to 16, I started to realize that I don't really fit in here. I don't want to fit in here. So let me just go ahead and not go. And that's when my mom and I started to have problems because I just wouldn't believe what she believed. But then, life took its toll. I finished high school, but I feel like growing up, I just could sense that there were spirits or energies in people. And I, as a sensitive person, would always take it so personally. Like, I would just be like, this person doesn't like me, there's something wrong with me, I need to change to appease them. And that kind of started like the people-pleasing like part of me. And I went from one space of my Mexican household where I started to rebel and didn't really care if I wasn't liked by my mom, because I was like, you have to accept me as I am. If I'm not the perfect son that isn't like heterosexual or a Jehovah's Witness, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not gonna be something I'm not. So that kind of created a rift between me and my mom. My stepdad, which is I now just call him my dad, because my biological father passed when I was young, when I was like 15. My dad now, he was raised Catholic, but he has always kind of been starry-eyed and believed in the UFOs and the supernatural. So I'm staying with him this summer, and it's just really peaceful. My mom and I, we still don't see eye to eye, and honestly, like, I just don't. She's a Taurus, and I just don't ever see me changing her mind. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that her, my little sister, and my older brother, they're all Tauruses, and they have always been the same. My little sister and I would always argue. She was so combative, so hot-headed as a kid, and that's still her. She's just grown up a little bit with age, but now she's just working all the time. And my mom's still the same. She's still the same stubborn woman. We don't see eye to eye, and I think to just save me the heartache, I'm just going no contact. But this kind of brings me to my point of, for the longest time, I was kind of deluding myself and cloaking my spiritual gifts and my spiritual receptivity because of the fact that I was raised Jehovah's Witness. But I also, in the same vein, I was proud to be a witch. I was proud to be a supernatural worker, an energy worker. And I think with me just going no contact and saving myself the trouble of adhering too closely to the spiritual practices of my mom and sister, I think it's better for me to just completely open up my third eye, to not fear Jehovah, to start to work with my own spirit team, because clearly my mom and sister have their spirit team. But I think also another point I want to make is, outside of me working in my own spirit world and in the spirit realm, I think that it's so important for me to talk about this next chapter of life, which is that there are truly spiritual entities, there are demons, and there are energy vampires, there are monsters out in this world that I need to, and I think all of this is divine, right? Like, I needed to experience this exact sequence of events where I finally just stop adhering to my mom's Jehovah's Witness beliefs. Because being raised Jehovah's Witness, it does implant this little seed of fear, right? She and many other types of Christians, they are fearful of the spirit world. And so they use Jehovah as this big bodyguard. But I, for me, have realized that there's nothing to be afraid of. And in fact, demons and spiritual entities feed off of this fear. And that's why I feel like for the longest time, I would always be like, you know what? I don't need the material because I'm a spiritual being. But I've also realized that a lot of these Christians, even though they are working with Christ and working with Jehovah, they're still possessed by these different entities and demons. That's why, in my experience, why some of the worst people you meet are Christians, because they are possessed by enraged and wrathful spirits and demonic entities, and it's all because they don't know how to protect themselves spiritually. They might know the Bible, which is a very powerful spell book. I'm reading it. But they also don't know the other forms of spiritual protection, the other forms of enhancing your spiritual powers through meditation, through cleansing, through banishing rituals. They don't know any of this shit because the Christian cult sect essentially tells you to just be ignorant. Do not educate yourself, because that was the original sin, is Adam and Eve became educated. They enlightened themselves to higher consciousness, higher ways of being. So for me as a witch, I'm kind of in the higher education pathway right now. And yeah, I'm learning all of the material higher education, but I think now is a perfect segue for me to start to tap into spiritual higher education. But it begins with me shedding this fear that I had for the longest time about the spirit world. I've been walking out here in the desert at night, super dark out here, and I've actually kind of tapped into my inner child, because my inner child was abused. My inner child was essentially told to be fearful, was told that there was something wrong with my body, there was something wrong with my mind, there was something wrong with how kind I was to people and how vulnerable and accepting I was to people, and people abused it. Both childhood friends, later adult friends, my own family, they would abuse this kindness to the point that I am now, like, I'm healing my inner child, and I'm healing my ability to show up in the world, because I just know that it's more important for me to heal now today than to just spend the rest of my life fearing because of God, or fearing the spirit world, or giving in to other people's demands or expectations of me simply because I want to be seen as a good person. But honestly, now as an adult, I've done my fair share of spiritual research. I have studied astrology, I have studied meditation, I have studied ritual work, ceremonial magic, I have studied the elementals, I have studied different realms and dimensions, and I've astral projected. I've done all of the, I feel like, beginner witch stuff. And as an adult, I think I'm increasingly knowing that it never was personal. All of the bullies, all of the people in my life that just abused me or took advantage of my kindness, they were possessed by energetic entities, by demons, by the spirit world. Now, for me, I feel like it's my job to be a bridge between the spirit world and the material world. So there's still material information that I need to learn and research. There's still spiritual information that I need to learn and research. But I think for me, even when I disconnect from the spirit world, I can understand that these people who hurt me, who attacked my mind, who attacked my spirit, who attacked my emotional bodies, all of these people are just deeply damaged individuals who, because they're hurt, they have to go out and hurt other people. Even if in the beginning of the honeymoon phase of friendships or relationships that I had, people would put on their higher selves. They would showcase how brilliant they are, how empathetic they are, how kind and funny and supportive they are. But I think over time will tell, and I started to see how people are possessed by different demons. They're possessed by different entities that essentially take control of their will because they are fearful and they're fearing. And that's when I start to get hurt, because I don't have the boundaries. Because for me in love, all boundaries are dissolved. Like, I can help you heal and you can help me heal because that boundary is dissolved. It's not until later that I was hurt by an abusive ex, that I was hurt by asshole friends, that I realized that, oh, I need to put this boundary back up because these people don't deserve to be in my space. So, my reflection, being out in this desert, reconnecting to my roots, my spiritual roots tell me that I still have so much more learning to do, and I'm excited to learn that. But I think that going forward, these experiences that I've had with people in relationships and intimate relationships and friendships, they are necessary. They were exactly what I needed to experience to go forward in life. Now that I'm 27, I will never be a victim of parasitic friendships. I will never be a victim of emotionally abusive people. I will never be a victim of people with low self-esteem. I will never be a victim, period. Because at this point, I truly realize, and I'm sending love and healing to all of the people that I've encountered, because all of these people, whether consciously or unconsciously, it's more often than not unconsciously, because people who are so damaged and so hurt, they don't want to heal. So they neglect, oftentimes because they were neglected themselves, they neglect, I'm going to take this back. They neglect themselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, and that reflects in the way that they have relationships with people. So, much love to all of the people that I've experienced. I truly hope that we all in this world can get to a point where we heal ourselves and love ourselves. I'm working on, I know that I'm more than enough. I know that I'm going to show up to Long Beach, to Cal State Long Beach, and people are always going to love my mind. People are always going to love my aura, my spirit. They're obviously going to love my body. People are attracted to me. People are also unattracted to me. That's so cool. I don't need to be liked or loved or appreciated by everyone. It's only certain people who have the energetic vibration that I do. So I know going forward, there was a part of me when I was younger that was insecure, that was seeking validation, that was seeking support from the wrong places. Now I truly realize that I'm better off truly just focusing on what my inner child needs. And my inner child, the little brilliant witch who, was just put in just a really shitty environment, who was given abusive friends, who was given emotionally neglectful parents, like whose father died, like literally all of these things that I went through, I hug myself for that because it made me more resilient. It taught me pain early on, but little kid me never deserved that. And I think now as an adult, I have to be my own parent. I have to be my own disciplinarian. I also have to be my own child. And I have to remind myself that in life, everything's about balance. And I'm going to have fun when I need to have fun. I'm going to work when I need to work. But now that I've encountered such adults who, my parents included, who are still unhealed or don't have parts of them that are not fully healed, it's really just me and the universe. I'm not trying to make besties like before. I don't really want a partner like before, because now I truly see that this whole universe is just work upon work. So many people need to work on themselves, and they're neglecting that work through distraction, through escapism, through hurting others. And I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't need to hurt anybody to feel better about myself. I feel better about myself by saying, hey, individuals can't give you what you need. You can give you what you need, though, and you often give yourself what you need in abundance and with higher quality than what other people could ever give you. So, what does this tell me about the future? I am so excited to dive deeper into my spirituality, to not be afraid of the spirit world. I think the future for me is me working with demonic forces, and not the Christian demon, but the spiritual astral demon, the demons who are just ethereal representatives of different energies, of different structures in society. And for me, my biggest problem in the past was escapism. I would try and escape through video games, through sex, through friendships, by focusing on other people's problems, through drugs. Like, I was a big smoker, no longer. For my 27th birthday, I really was just like, okay, you're not a perfect human. Nobody out here is perfect. But the difference between you and nearly every other human you've encountered is that even when it's uncomfortable, you face the ugly, you face the bad, you embrace it, and you can transmute it into something that truly works to heal you, to make you stronger, to benefit you, compared to everyone else who truly is just under a mask or spell of illusion, of dissociating. I remember I had a friend, much healing to him. I'm not going to blast out his energy and what was wrong with him, but I would discuss how he tries to escape from things through alcohol, through sex, and he, in the same room as me, would just not show any expression. He was just under a spell to block his energy from coming out, from spilling out. And after that, as well as other experiences with exes and friends literally admitting to me that they're demons, I was like, oh, this shit is way deeper than just like angry people. People are full on possessed by demonic forces. They're possessed by energies that I don't understand. So to save myself the trouble of experiencing these demons or these energetic forces in the future, I need to educate myself. I cannot be an ignorant, God-fearing Christian because of my upbringing and say that that's okay. Like, I can sense that the spirit world wants to help me. There's a hawk flying above me right now. Yeah, like, I can just sense that this universe feels me. This universe senses that I'm a powerful witch, but they've had to put me through these certain situations and scenarios where I truly have to shed my conditioning. I have to shed my attachment to people, to places, to even my old identity as the son of a Jehovah's Witness or someone who came from a Mexican community. Like, yes, I will always embrace my identity because it's a beautiful identity, but I think, oh, I'm gonna take this bath. This has been a great walk. I hope that this audio comes out clear enough for y'all to hear and for y'all to really understand and grasp what I'm saying. I think that's another thing. I was blessed with many gifts in life. Me doing my draconic natal chart reading, there were various points that stated that I am able to take these really complex concepts and make them digestible for society. So for me as a witch, I think it's my job to go through these spiritual experiences, translate them, and make them digestible for the masses, which is what I'm doing now through YouTube. But it's not going to reach everyone. Like, not everyone wants to heal. I learned that loud and clear with the people that I've met in life, where people will you will have the truth right before them, so that way they can heal, and they will fully tune you out. Facing you, like looking into your face, they will tune out everything you've said, because their reality doesn't benefit from them facing the truth. Their reality is structured upon lies, upon dissociation, upon deception, upon abuse. And for me, there were also periods in my life where I was doing that, but I had to destroy those structures, and it was a huge tower moment. If you're into tarot, you understand what I'm talking about. It was a huge tower moment because I built these structures out of addiction to weed, to sex, to lying, and I had those really awful days, weeks, months, and some might even say a year. Like, I feel like 2020 to 2023 was like a huge tower period for me, because I was essentially destruction upon destruction of all the things that didn't benefit me and my spirit's growth. And I'm 27. I'm immensely proud that I can say that, you know, for someone so young. I mean, and that's another thing. There are fully like 13-year-olds, 8-year-olds maybe, who are going through this period right now. So, like, I feel like age is not the determining factor. It's really about the spirit's readiness to grow. And for me at 27, I feel like I had to experience creating such an unstable and unhealthy life that I was then like, okay, I'm ready to destroy this. My soul wants better. My mind, spirit, body connection wants better. And so I'm going to go out and get better. It's getting dark out here. So I think I'm going to start walking back home. This has been a great talk. I think, okay, so the future for me is continuing. I feel like I started my YouTube channel at 17 because younger me, my inner child, my younger version of myself was like, hey, you don't know it yet, but you are a very powerful, creative, and spiritual being. You, I feel like the masses just feel like they kind of float through life and kind of are a victim to life or are very passive in life. But from a little kid's mindset, my spirit told me, hey, you need to create this channel to share your experience, to document yourself, to showcase and connect with a greater world around you. Now, a couple illusions have also been made clear because I used to be like, oh, YouTube is the place for art. YouTube is the place for intellectualism. It is the place to connect with the world. But honestly, like I'm noticing right now in 2024 that a lot of YouTube is truly just clownery and tomfoolery and distraction and escapism. And I feel like, okay, when I go on YouTube, and this is fully, I understand that the algorithm I have created, so this is fully upon me, but I feel like I will customize my algorithm to support me experiencing new cuisines, to me experiencing new types of recipes, right? For me to experience, ants. For me to experience the spirit world and spiritual knowledge. But even with all of that information that I have curated, there is still just videos of people posting nonsense or, things for attention. And I think that's the thing, like right now, I'm a fellow spirit who is finding myself and finding the truth beyond the illusion. But I truly just see a lot of lost spirits who are just under this illusion that they're truly just here to kind of waste time or seek likes and comments. I've never needed that. Like, would I love to have my art touch everyone on earth? Yes. But there will be a divine time for that. It's just not the time yet. I think that for me, my biggest obstacle to life was truly letting illusions take over. My biggest obstacle to happiness was believing that I had to be that son that my mom wanted, who was a Jehovah's Witness, who was a straight Mexican, compared to just being queer, to embracing my complex identity, to embracing my spiritual path. So all of that was needed. I needed to explore that to truly start making art. And I mean, I'm in university, so when it comes to making art, I know that I have the technical skill. I have the technical skill to make paintings, to make multimedia art, to discuss this art with the communities that I'm around, right? So it's never a case of the skill. It's more so the fact that I'm living in a society right now that wants everything fast. We all want instant gratification. We all want short, curated clips that give us dopamine. But I am a part of the healers of society. I'm a part of the witches. I'm a part of the energetic workers that is saying, first, heal yourself before you go out there and try and heal anyone else. Love yourself, because how can you love others if you can't love yourself? And face your shadow. I've been doing a lot of shadow work surrounding my upbringing, my belief systems, my, own identity. And now that I am pretty much secured in the fact that, my family is good enough, but I can be, just for myself, I can be better. And I think that in time, I'm gonna work to be better. I'm going to focus on shedding the fear little by little. I'm gonna slowly but surely work with different spirits. I'm gonna work with different entities that help protect me against the future waves upon waves of humans possessed by demons. Because when I think about life, I've never been hurt by some ephemeral, disembodied spirit. I'm always hurt by fellow humans who are possessed by these spirits. So, for me, I started, I have my grimoire, my Book of Shadows. So this past month has just been me focusing on my specific energetic blueprint. But right after I'm done with my draconic chart, I plan to check out the Lesser Keys of Solomon, the Goetic Diaries. I plan on learning these different demons because so far I've done light work about these demons, and I can tell that these demons, they possess great knowledge, but they're also the qualities that I've experienced in abusers and emotionally manipulative people. Like, when I hooked up with guys who were a little bit too thirsty, a little bit too lustful, and that was a demon. When I met friends who were envious of my artistic skill and eloquence, those were demons. When I met friends who stole things from me in San Francisco, those were demons. Like, they are all out there. You could have demons in your loved ones, you could have demons in yourself. I still need to do a deep research of what demons do I want to work with and understand, and what demons do I want to create pacts with, so that way I can be protected against malicious entities, energy vampires, abusers, predators, all of that shit. Now, I am also raised Mexican, so I've been told since time immemorial to protect myself against these darker entities. So I'm not just gonna throw myself into the Lesser Keys of Solomon without extensive research, but I think now at 27, and it's funny because the 27 Club is very much like a transit that it either makes or breaks you. And I think it did break me. It broke down the part of me that was fearful. It broke down the part of me that was a people pleaser. And now it's making me into someone who is more fearless. Like, I've always been a courageous kid, but now I'm just fearless. Like, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. I truly feel so safe within my body that it doesn't really matter what other people bring to me. But I've also experienced very unpleasant days with humans out here on Earth. So I am going to do the work, the spiritual work, to protect myself against these entities. I'm going to do the artistic work of translating these spiritual experiences into art and for the masses. I'm also going to make art just to have fun again, because little kid me would spend so much time on sketches and, drawings that they wouldn't benefit me or profit me outside of the fact that I'm just enjoying my artistic skill. This gift that I was given, I get to enjoy it for myself first and foremost, and then other people get to enjoy it. Being in university, I've very much seen the darker side of art, where artists feel like they have to compete, they have to sell themselves, they have to appease people to make it in the art world. But I think my spiritual knowledge just lets me know there's plenty of room for all of us. The fact that we are artists is a spiritual gift. It is a creative gift. So just enjoy it, and don't really be so stressed. Don't be so stressed upon anything, because it really, there's a balance to appreciating and having your materialism, but then you also can't make it everything, because then you start to lose your connection to your spirit self. I'm also very conscious of not losing my material self in the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. I know very much so that is how people go insane. That is how people lose their sense of self. Something flew into my eye. So I just know that it's all about balance for me. I do believe that I'm a bridge, a spiritual bridge, a material bridge. So, I'm walking back to my house. This was a great talk. This was a great video. I'm gonna upload it. And I hope you got something out of this. Much love to all out there. And I hope that if you got anything out of this video, it's that there is very much. It doesn't just, you don't just wake up one day and see a fucking demon in your house. Maybe you do if you're, super sensitive. But it doesn't work like that. For me, I've noticed that demons and people who are possessed, it's very incremental experiences that in hindsight, for me, I've done a lot of meditation and reflection just being in my house. It's more so thinking wow, that person was very weird that one day. And then you realize oh, that person was definitely possessed by something. And then they admit it to you, or you just kind of have to understand that there's just some things that you experience on a spiritual level that aren't super logical. And especially, being a university student, my entire realm is very intellectual and logical, but then also reminding myself that as a spiritual person, there are just some things that we can't explain. We can't understand intellectually or logically. It's something that's intuitive. It's something that's energetic. Alright, so I think I'm gonna end the video here because the wind is picking up, but you guys keep checking out my stuff. Let me know if you want me to talk more about my spiritual experiences, or if you want me to dive into the spirit world on my channel. I think I could definitely incorporate a space for it, and we'll talk about it. Okay, bye. Take care. Be on the lookout. Watch out for yourself.